Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
How do
Hi.
you do?
Oh,
How
well,
do you do?
How do you do, basically?
I am doing very goody-do-do.
Hearing this thing inside the house makes it real tricky for me. What is happening?
I just wanted to make a point. I'm an avid biker, alright? I travel around on bikes and I've got this helmet of mine. Number two, I've got 3 of my helmets stolen recently, so I need to keep this as close to me as possible, you know. I even go to bed this way.
Alright, so in that way you want to be in front of the camera so that people know that it was yours?
I don't know, I'm going to should I take it off? I can take it off. No problem,
yeah, now you look handsome. Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, I was wearing this under the
Shade.
nothing.
We have a lot of lights over here.
Alright,
so
what are you doing today, Sir Casser? It is going to be so interesting, I guess.
It is an interesting video because we'll be talking about something that you aren't supposed to do. In fact, things that you're not supposed to do when it comes to, you know, language proficiency.
Basically, 10 things you should avoid if you want to improve your language.
Indeed, indeed. So this goes across the board, you know. It's not just about English, it goes with every other language that you're trying to learn. I'm not talking about acquisition, that's a different story, but yeah, that's the point.
Language learning and language acquisition.
No, they're two different.
That's a big story. We need to talk about that too.
Someday, definitely.
Alright.
It'll be very interesting again.
Your point number 1, Sir Casser.
Point number 1. Okay, so I'll go with do not consume half-baked cookies. What do I mean by that?
What does that mean, by the way?
Indeed, indeed. You know, that's a good question. Okay, first of all, I need to come down to the camera level.
Okay. Do not consume half-baked cookies.
Half-baked cookies. So
Alright.
half-baked cookies refer to the idea of consuming half-baked information, or maybe going to, you know, people who are not really the experts, but, you know, trying to be or act like some. I don't know, I don't want to get into the gnarly details of that, but
Alright,
the whole
okay.
point is go to people who are authentic, learn from the authentic sources. Number 2, you know, consume authentic information. Do not consume it halfway. For instance, if you're going with grammar,
Do you
need
want to relate it with somehow the little knowledge is dangerous thing?
Indeed, indeed. I
For
agree.
example, if you get something, for example, one of the phrases or clauses, do not just use it if you don't know it.
Exactly.
For example, one of the phrases an idiom I learned, kick the bucket.
Okay.
For example, someone has said it to someone and someone got to know, oh, well, I have to use it to show how good am I.
Exactly. You know, so there's this other expression which is break a leg. Now I know I've used this expression once or twice where people actually literally thought about what? I mean, they actually came up with, you know, a very odd expression. I mean, they came up with a questioning, you know, a question.
What do you mean by that?
break a leg?
Basically, that's what they were saying.
It simply means good luck. All right. Figurative expression, but then again, the point is, if you're not familiar with certain things, don't use them, or maybe try and know them more.
Yeah, inquire and then speak. Basically.
Exactly, and go to the right people. It's extremely important. If your teachers, they're not qualified enough themselves, there is no.
Why are you looking at me? Look at the camera.
Yeah, exactly.
You said your teacher if they're not qualified enough. What does that mean?
I don't know. You know, my head is,
You should have horse blind somehow.
That's why I'm wearing my helmet, basically.
Alright.
You know?
My tip number 1 and your tip number 2 basically associated over here.
Go ahead.
That is, do not think in the mother tongue or in the indigenous language. For example, I can speak Hindi or I can speak Urdu as well. If I will be thinking in Hindi, we'll be translating that to Urdu. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Urdu, and then you're translating that into English. So what will happen eventually? I will be mixing all the tenses, all the times, and I'll be bringing something like soup.
Yeah.
Mushroom soup, which I would like.
Okay, fair enough.
So basically, if you will think in your own language, it won't work. If you think in targeted language, for example, you want to learn Chinese or Turkish, or in our case, English. So think in English. Try thinking in English, please.
Or any other language that you're targeting.
Or
basically.
whichever language you're targeting.
Basically. So the third point would be find the right people.
But isn't it so cool that we are
This is so cool.
going
You know,
around?
look, we can do this too.
Hey. Oh wow!
Yay, that's a 360.
You
right
have
there.
this facility available, right?
I know. So we offer
Lucky
that here
you!
at our institute too.
If I could have been smarter enough, I could have tried this too. But it's tough.
Oh, you did actually.
I did. Oh my god! So you tip.
Cool. So find the right people to communicate with. It's extremely important. All right. They could be your teachers, they could be your peers, they could be your friends, they could be your family members. Considering the target language, it is a suggestion that finding the right people is extremely important, because if you don't have someone to communicate or effectively communicate with you, your skills will remain half-baked themselves. So.
I take your point. So, Kesik, you know, if the person himself is not competent enough, for example, someone is coming to for preparing of IELTS to some institute. Okay, here comes the real thing we have to talk about. So if that person is not certified, or maybe the center is not referral partner or something, the guys don't have real idea about it. Knowing the language is a separate part. Explaining it to specific kind of stratified boxing, that is a separate. Stratified boxing, yeah, really vocabulary,
yeah,
right?
That's
Again.
right there. Lexical resources right there. On point.
So I guess that is something they should avoid.
Besides that, you meet a person, you meet a language instructor, and you can tell right away if the person is qualified enough to teach you or not. I mean, the conversations that you're going to have, or the way certain types of communication are done, business communication, etc., etc. You can get a fair idea, yourself.
Okay.
Right away.
All right. And my next tip would be, do not doubt yourself.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
I mean, basically, if I will say to myself, I cannot speak in front of camera, I will neither try nor I will do it.
Oh, right. I have had so many people like that.
Yeah.
I personally know a lot of people who say, be camera shy, be a crowd shy.
They're mic shy people too. They
Yeah.
don't speak in the mic, and they feel they say that our voice goes super ugly. They don't even listen to their WhatsApp audios again because they always speak so bad in that.
So that is lack of confidence. Right?
And that is the thing. Do not doubt your abilities. Okay, if you will see or you will say that I cannot do it, everyone will say yes, you're right. But if you say I can do it, there will be a few people who will be just pulling the legs. What was your one? Cracking the leg?
Breaking the leg.
Breaking the leg.
Yeah.
That was a separate one. So if you will say to yourself that no, I am not the person who can do that, literally you won't be able to do that.
Yeah, believe in yourself. There was this famous quote. Belief is the launching pad. All right, so you need to believe yourself before you get launched into a certain sphere of life, basically, or whatever you want to do.
Okay. Something about wolves or tigers or bulls, you were saying, I guess?
Yeah,
Do not
that
throw
was the
yourself.
idea.
Do not throw
Do
yourself.
not throw yourselves to the wolves if not prepared.
Well, what does that mean?
It's
sir?
basically kind of contrary to what you just said, but at the same time, it's basically common sense, based on common sense.
Okay,
all right.
okay.
So if you're not well prepared for a certain topic, all right, or if you believe you cannot deliver it in a certain way, don't do it. Don't push yourself through.
Allow me to answer,
Please
Kester.
do
You
so.
mean to say basically you should say you can do it. But if you say only I can do it, that is wrong.
No, I think that is right too.
Okay.
In a certain way. What I mean is, if you say you can do it, make sure that you prepare for it.
Oh.
All right, not just claims. All right, back it up with some kind of
And
foundation.
here comes my handy tip again and again.
Yeah.
If you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Indeed,
So
indeed.
that is the
Once
thing.
again.
If you think that you are good enough to do something, do the preparation. Then saying in Urdu we say it, ho jayega, kar lenge. Do not do that. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, you given the. So you mean to say that, for example, do not behave foolish.
Yeah, indeed.
That you just present yourself to
Yeah.
say, okay, I'll become confident coming in front of people, and then they shout and howl, and what do they do?
And then you blame us later that we
Yeah.
told you not to be.
Before blaming us, come here and get prepared, okay?
Exactly,
So that
that's-
you're not being blamed.
That's important.
I have another thing.
Go
Do
ahead.
not be a quack. Well, this is super easy, super dense. super
Elaborate,
cool.
elaborate.
Do not be a quack, okay? A quack is one who pretends to be something which he or she is not. I would be associating it with the accent, basically.
Okay.
For example, you have seen Pakistani people, especially, no offense to anyone, I am one of those, but they basically try speaking like English, and at a level, they become more English than English.
Oh, interesting.
They basically pronounce, mispronounce, depronounce, whatever you say with the pronounce.
So fluency is the important thing.
That is the thing, but do not try speaking like them to whom you cannot speak to. Your chords are different.
Right.
Your style is different. We're living in world Englishes now. This is a separate part, okay?
Okay.
I speak my English.
Yeah, don't be too conscious of the fact.
Don't be too conscious of that. And yes, if you got the abilities, that is a cherry on the top. Otherwise, you just go for the cherry and you don't have cake.
You avoid the cake. Avoid the cake. Yeah.
Well, the simile was mouth-watering, I guess.
Cool. Now I'm hungry.
All right, so don't be a quack, please, and don't be a foolish quack. Sir Kessler, do
Be
you have
smart.
something else?
Absolutely, absolutely. So the next point that I have is basically, do not cut your discourse short.
Oh,
all right?
yeah.
If you're involved in a situation where you have to elaborate upon something at detail, at length, do so. Do not cut your sentences short. Sometimes I do it myself. I mean, every one of us does it here and there, but you need to find the right moment where you could do it. All right,
You
that's
mean to
another
say
debate.
you're giving the tip you don't follow yourself?
No,
Don't
I
do
mean,
that.
I am not saying that, but sometimes, the situation ends up in a way where you have to cut your conversation short because you get interrupted by other factors, all right?
okay.
That being another side of it, generally speaking, do not cut your discourse short, say whatever you have to, even if it's wrong to a certain extent. Be confident about it, maybe rephrase certain things if you have to, but deliver your message in a proper and appropriate way.
Over here it comes my last step as well.
Go
Do not be
ahead.
repetitive, okay? Do not how do you pronounce this?
Repetitive.
Repetitive. Do not be repetitive, okay? Do not be repetitive. That is my pronunciation. Do not be repetitive, okay? What I mean is basically, for example, I started talking about the school. And I said, yeah, my school is so good, my school has got this, my school has got this, my school has got this, my school. Stop me, I'm in the loop now, I guess. Loopy.
Yeah.
So do not re-utter the same things again and again. It can be anything. I have given you a very basic example, okay? But if you keep repeating the same thing again and again, it tells upon your conversation and the person gets kind of bored,
Yeah.
okay? And do not stop taking human beings as humor beings.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
Humor is key to every other situation.
And do not stop that. If you're doing it, you're doing the best. No matter sometimes you go extra, it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, people for some reason are very stringent upon these rules. You have to be very serious and you have to be very
Stringent, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good vocabulary item.
But then again, you need to be you need to have that element of humor because I guess a lot in human interaction is based on humor, and using good humor at the right time can turn tables.
It can surely turn tables, and you can have your barbecue on that later.
Really?
Are
Are you suggesting something?
So yeah, that's all the thing I had to talk about. So, Kesa, you got something else to say?
One more point that I'd like to
Okay.
talk about, which is extremely important, something that I've observed as a teacher for a very long time, all right, especially young learners. Do not emotionally connect to a certain topic, especially in an examination setting.
Oh
all
yes,
right?
sir.
Having your ideas, your own subjective thoughts, or your perspectives is one thing, but whenever you're in an examination setting, make sure that you do not stick to a point on an emotional level.
Well, that basically is the complete key to it, which you wanted to give. You have given it all.
True. So the point is, whenever you connect to a certain point emotionally, you start getting offended or getting too, comfortable with it.
Yeah.
All right. Whenever you think about it from a pragmatic, point of view, chances are that you'll end up sticking to the point and answering the question itself rather than getting into unnecessary details or being emotionally charged, etc., etc.
Okay. A fine example of this could be, for example, you're driving a car,
Yeah.
and I'm driving a car, and I have hit your car.
Okay.
Well, I have hit your car, okay?
Okay.
So now both of us are out here. Basically, we were talking in the beginning, and then both of us became angry.
Yeah.
We will stop talking, you see.
Yeah,
we
it was more
stop.
like-
We speak with the mouth normally,
Yeah.
but we will speak with the hands on the mouth later. Well, can you try one with me right now? Okay.
Go with it.
So the thing is, once you become angry over here, the language acquisition device it's get hot.
True.
When
True.
it gets hot, it stops producing the language, the quality content we have.
That's science.
And eventually, what happened? Oh, that is science. Did I speak scientifically?
Yeah, that was kind of neurolinguistic.
Is that?
Yeah, basically. It
So-
went that way. a bit.
Okay, so if this thing would happen, for example, you become romantic. Don't become romantic with me for now. Don't look at me in that way. But if you become
I'm a
romantic,
romantic at heart, by
are
the
you?
way. Yeah.
With capital R, I believe.
Yeah,
the one who likes nature.
Exactly. Don't take it the wrong way, all right?
Oh,
Or the right
yeah.
way. I don't know. What am I talking about?
Okay, did you?
Take it however you want.
Not my taste though. All right then. So the point was basically do not get so associated emotionally with the talk, especially once you're into a setting, for example, IELTS, PTE, OET, or kind of test. If you start feeling emotionally connected with that, there will be pauses, there will be hesitations, there will be shortcomings.
Yeah.
So eventually you won't be getting what you want.
Exactly. So just take it as an examination or that situation as it is, and play cool, like he is right now.
That thing.
Yeah. Anything else?
Thank you very much for your time, Sir Caster.
Pleasure all the way.
And your time as well. We are here in IELTS because it's not about talking to you in
Precisely.
detail.
Uh-huh.
If you want to come here for AOI and for GSL, we are your hosts.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Take care of yourself.
Thanks.
Thank you for the last one.